International. We're right here in College Street in downtown Toronto, y'all.
Yeah, 100.7, and we're here with Saturday night. You're listening to Talk to Me. Reggae Mania and Soak in the Soca are up next. And Steve Russell, is a poet, actor, director, and screenwriter. He was born in St. Anne, Jamaica, and attended Ferncourt High School and Exed Community College, where he studied the performing arts. He went on to study theater and media arts at the University of South Carolina. Russell is pleased to share his admiration and respect for Jamaican folklore in his Jamaica 50th edition of Brer, what are we, you write it properly, Brer Anancy. You couldn't say Brer Anancy and the magic pot. Welcome to Talk to Me.
Yeah, Brer Anancy, whichever way you take it, the same person we're talking about.
Steve, it's Clifton Joseph. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy.
Yeah, Anancy is only a general, a smart man, as they say in the Caribbean and I guess in America too. But he is in Ghana, where he originated, get a lot of big ups and props. He's pretty revered there. Can you talk to me a brief synopsis of the story of your book?
Well, as you said, Brer Anancy originated in Africa, and of course came across during the Middle Passage, and that's how he came to Jamaica. We retained him, and we spread his good word. I think a lot of people, as you said, think of him as a general in Jamaica, but me, looking at him, I think that Brer Anancy has a lot more to offer. And in the latest edition of Brer Anancy and the Magic Pot, which is an adaptation of the story, we find Brer Anancy talking about the positive attributes of honesty. Although he uses a lot of greed, he imposed on people who read the story that you must be careful, you must be aware, and you must be alert with the person who you deal with. So it all depends on how you look at Brer Anancy, and some people probably look at the glass as half full or half empty. But I think there's a lot to be learned. It's just for you to take the right message from his story.
Hi, Steve. This is Kayla. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kayla. Nice talking to you.
Yes. You also quote the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley on your website. Jamaican folk stories are exemplified through the keen and cunning Ashanti spider god Anancy, but many Jamaicans know and love him as the tricky little Spider-Man who speaks with a lisp and live by his wits in both comic and sinister. The hero and villain of the Jamaican folk stories. So are you doing this to celebrate Jamaicans' 50th anniversary and donating books to schools?
Well, the idea came about back when I was in college, and I knew that it was around the same time that Miss Lou died, and I was looking at the way how I could celebrate the Jamaica 50th anniversary in 2012. So I started back in 2007, and at the same time there was the rise of the Honorable Portia Simpson Mill as another woman in the Jamaican diaspora who is challenging the woman rights and the whole upliftment of women. Miss Lou, as you know, has been one of those ladies at the forefront who was taking Jamaica to the world in all different genres. You mean in poetry, in music and song. And so this was a way to basically honor Miss Lou and at the same time honor Jamaica in the wider diaspora. And so that was the way I came about readapting the book, because one of the challenges that I have in the readaptation is the fact that there are certain words that were American that, like, for example, I. In Jamaica, we spell I, H-I-D-E, which is also pronounced A, based on the tense in which it's used.
Carefully you give Clifton Joseph an opportunity to laugh after Jamaicans. Right?
Yeah, and Steve, I'm an honorary Jamaican, what some people call a Jafaican, but I'm from Antigua and Barbuda, and Jamaicans talk like we. So go ahead, bro.
Keep going.
What I would say is that was one of the challenge for me when I was writing, because I'm based in the U.S. at the moment, and so I'm trying to make the book basically available to kids back home. Because when I reach out to the Ministry of Education, the prominent sexual is very acceptable of bringing back stuff like this into the curriculum. While growing up, I didn't have that opportunity. The opportunity of me getting involved with Brer Anancy was through my parents telling stories. Mm-hmm. And the best stories to have ever been told is Brian Anancy's story because he always finds a way out and he always makes you laugh. And so my idea of, bringing the community together, bringing Jamaica back together at a time when we celebrate 50 years of independence was my way of saying, you know what, I'm going to honor Brother Nancy, honor Miss Lou, and at the same time give Jamaica something to be proud of.
Okay, so you're an actor,
I'm an actor,
poet, screenwriter,
yes ma'am,
and now you're a writer of a book, and you're donating Anancy and the Magic Pot to schools in Jamaica. How do we know this is not just more Anancyism, Steve?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think that's basically the first thing that people say. The thing about it,
actually, no, we're kidding, but justify yourself.
Right, because I mean, everybody who, well, I'm pretty, I would want to say that I'm known to most people in Jamaica in many society. I've been working with Sandals, the old hotel chain, and stuff like that. And I've also been involved in community involvement in Jamaica, where this is something that I've lived. So I'm not just doing it just because. I'm doing it because there's a need for it. There's a lot of, apart from even in Jamaica, there are a lot of other entities that utilizes our folklore as a way of sending messages, telling the stories of the past that people weren't aware of. As I said, when I was growing up, I didn't have that opportunity. I heard it from my parents telling it. In schools, they weren't there. And so what we've come to recognize is that over time, as the internet becomes more prominent, you find that the folklore that really grounds us tends to drift away from the system. Furthermore, these stories were basically told orally, and so not many retentions have been done where it can be disseminated to students in a form like a book or even an e-version. And that's where I decided that if I'm going to give back something to Jamaica, this would be a good time to do it. And that was the emphasis for Brother Nancy and the Magic Pot.
Hey, congratulations, Steve. The book has been getting pretty good reviews so far in the UK and Jamaica. And Amber Smith of the Los Angeles Times was pretty effluvious with her praise. She said, a well-packaged cautionary tale of greed and temptation. I know you're not the only one in your team, but who's on your team bringing this to fruition? I see you've got illustrations by Clovis Brown, for instance.
Yeah, I have Clovis Brown, which is the editorial cartoonist at the Jamaica Observer. He was very, very happy to come on board and did the illustrations. Some fantastic illustrations that he did in the book. He was such an easy person to work with because when I spoke to him, I said, Clovis, I know you're going to laugh. And he was like, why do you think I'm going to laugh? I'm like, it's Brother Nancy. And he was like, it's right up my sleeve, So he's a good illustrator, and he did a very, very good job on that. I also have Annex Dean in Jamaica, who is the base person in Jamaica who reached out to the relevant organizations there and is working on getting the book there. We've also teamed up with some persons over there in China, and so we're able to bring Brother Nancy to life in a mascot. So the plan is to take Brother Nancy to the school, sit down, read, and, give people a visual idea of what Brother Nancy might look like, I mean, the thing about Brother Nancy is we all know is that Brother Nancy is part man, part spider, but, many people don't really have an idea as to, okay, what would he look like? And so that was where Clovis came in to visualize Brother Nancy, and I think he did a fabulous job.
Hey, Steve. We've got 30 seconds left here. Do you want to give us a little tidbit from the book?
Oh, certainly. There's, as you know, Brother Nancy and the Magic Pot is about Brother Nancy walking the forest and he found a magic pot. So I'm going to read for you an excerpt as the story goes on.
30 seconds.
Every day Brother Nancy ate his stomach full, but he never shared the secret with his family. Mrs. Anancy soon began to notice that her husband was getting rather fat. So he looked really fat in the midst of traffic, and he ain't eating any of the food that he's bringing home. Something must be wrong, she said. So one day, she decided to follow him after he left home. I don't know if you know what happened next. I can't tell you. But as they say, I had Nancy make it. So Jack Mandura.
Me no choose none. Anancy.com. Our listeners can hook you up to donate a book to schools in Jamaica. We're going to give away 2 books. Next week, we're giving away Brer Anancy t-shirt. All of us in the studio are going to be able to wear one, and we'll have a couple to give away. Great to have you as our guest, Steve. What's the V for?
The V is for Vivian. As you know, in Jamaica,
Yeah, Vivian is a man's name.
When I got to the States, I decided to go by the pen name V.S Russell because of the confusion on the U.S. side.
Great to have you with us on Talk to Me from Los Angeles. I hear Oliver Samuels is out there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Oliver.
Oliver was actually out here. He actually performed last night at the other park in Christina.
So you missed the show.
So I missed the show last night, but man, tell you, Oliver did live.
Great to talk to you. Thank you for being with us.
All right, of course. And
until next time, walk good.